looks something like this, and maybe you need to, like I said, you need to connect it to a data source. Now, without any data source, if you click on the blank page, this is what you are going to see. So it's basically a visualization tool that uses Power Query as well as what they call DAX, data analysis expression. So it uses M code, and also it has its own built-in expressions that you use to do certain things. Already, you guys are already familiar with Power Query, right?
Yeah.
So it runs based on Power Query because you use Power Query to ingest data. You can import data into Power BI. Sorry, my network just went off. Like I said, network really sucks here. Really sucks. So, but confirm if you guys can hear me and can still see my screen.
Yeah, we can.
So, now you can see add data to your report. Once loaded, your data will appear in the data pane, and these are the places you can import data from Excel, from SQL. You can paste data in a blank table, sample data, get data from another source. So you actually need a data source, otherwise it's not going to work. Now, you can, let's say Postgres. So you can actually, from CSV, from text, I think basically from almost anywhere, from PDF. It's like your Power Query that when you want to import data. Now, in order for you to get access to this, you can come to get data and more, and it's going to show you the same place. Now, the reason why you are seeing Excel is because, again, it is a Microsoft product, so it's normal that you see that. Now, these are like the common data sources that you can actually download data from. This SQL Server is Microsoft SQL Server. From web, from blank query, and if you click on blank query, it basically takes you to Power Query. So let's try from Excel workbook. Let me see. I think Frankfurt cohort 2 Power Query. Let me see where I can actually ingest data from. I'm going to ingest data from this financial data set. So it's creating a connection. Then if it does connect, it takes me to your navigator like Power Query. And so this is a table and this is a sheet. So it has recognized that there's a table inside the workbook, and this is the sheet workbook, but basically the name of this table is financials. You click on the one you want. They are all the same thing. As you can see, they are all literally the same thing, no difference. It's just that this is the name of the sheet in that workbook, and it has identified that this is a table, an Excel table called financials. We can do this verification if we want. Now, the first thing we are going to do is to go to transform. By the time you click on transform, it takes you to your Power Query editor. I am assuming that you guys are already familiar with this. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We are familiar with this already, right?
Yes.
And so part of the transformations we can actually do is make sure that your date time, all of those things are correct. Profit margin, your sales are correct. Discount, manufacturing units. So these are the correct data type. We already know how to change our data types here, right?
Yes.
So by the time we are done, so okay, the one thing I want to do again, remember the time when we changed United States to USA? So I can just click here, right? I can go to transform and go to replace values. So anywhere I see United States, I just want to put United States of America. I want to replace it with what USA, and I'm good. So you see, it has already changed to USA, and then when we are done, you can just close and apply. Now remember that in Power Query we'll do load to, and we are going to load as connection, but this is not the case. This is from by the time you are closing apply, you automatically see on your data pane here your data with all the columns. So these are all the column names, right? And this pane is called the build pane, where the build basically are your charts and your visuals, what you use to represent what and things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you go to your home tab, you have where you get your data source, your transform data. I added this one. You might not see it in yours, but it's the same thing as this build here. You have new measure. You can create data analysis expression using this new measure, and you can publish to online. So if you go to insert, you have your build here, which is here. You have more visuals. All of these are still part of your build. Paginate reports. You can, there are Power Apps and Power Automate. These are Microsoft applications that you can actually use to do some automations. You have text box, you have button, you have shapes, and you have images. So it means you can import images if you want. And let me see if I can import any image here. Oh, let me see. So I have an image here. I can actually import images, right? Doesn't really do anything, but you know, you can import images if you want to. Shapes, of course, you have different shapes that you can actually import. So basically, yours is to use Power BI to do visualization, basically visualization. And there is my build, right? Um, each time you click on anything, whether an object or shape or image, button, or you click on any build functionality here, it does have like a format um, area here where you can actually adjust the properties of that particular visual or shape or image and subsurface for image. You know, say I want to reduce the bevel here. I will just need to just click on my image, go to, I think it's shape style, rounded shape, a rectangle. If I want it not to be rounded, you can see. And if I want it to be rounded, I can see rounded corners. Then you just increase the percentage. You can see it's becoming round all of a sudden. And you have different shapes that you can choose from. You can convert this shape to any of these shapes and you can choose from. Same thing you can actually do here, but this has more control. So I can go to I can remove border, go to the fill, increase transparency so that it should be as transparent as possible. So you see, change the color to whatever works. So you can use this as a background color. And use this as a background color if you want. Just to so you have to be really good at design for you to enjoy working with Power BI. So for the modeling part, you have your measure. You can create a new column, create a new table. On your table, you can manage row. I've never actually had to use this before, but you can create different rows and you can manage them. I never had to use this before, but let me see the view as some things I've never really bothered to okay, you have different languages. If you want English, Espanol, that is Spanish. Your view, this is where you have if you go to Power BI, your theme report. If you want to change your theme to something else, you can actually do that. Let's see. I've never really played with this before, but this should be interesting. You have your mobile view, how you want to look, to look like in mobile version. You have your desktop view, which is here. Key manager. You have the same thing you have here. Your data build, your format, your filter. Same thing you have on this place. Mine is a little bit, I changed the settings. A friend of mine will change the settings, which is why I have all of these things here. Optimization, you can actually build an analyzer for this performance and analyzer to see how fast your visuals is performing and things like that. Let's see, help, and these are some of the things I've really never had to use before. But it will be interesting to to see what's happening. So majorly you work on using home, most likely. I think there's supposed to be format somewhere. Okay. Oh no. Where is this? Okay. Okay, my format is always there, so that's fine. Filter is the one that is mostly constant here. So let's go back to so this is basically our ribbon. Now from the left hand side, you have the report view, which is where we already are. We have the table view, which again, it will show us the different tables. If we have multiple tables, it will show us the different tables. Now, for these, if you click on each of the column, you can actually change your format style. You want to summarize it and stuff like that. So for country, for instance, I can click on this country. Because it's a country, I'll go to data category, click on the drop down and go to country and just click on it, just to make sure that I give it the right set of data. For units sold, I can decide to put a comma because I want to do that. Basically going to put a comma on almost everything here. Okay, so manufacturing price, a comma, but I want it to, so anything that has to be a price should be in decimal. Or better still, you can put it in currency. Now, this is by default dollar, so you can just put it in currency, and you can choose your currency basically. For this, I'm just gonna put dollar. The same thing with this. Automatically, it will even choose the currency dollar sign. For me, I need to put the comma on its own. Discount too, I think, is in currency. Sales, I think, is in currency as well. I could have easily done this in Power Query too, put it in currency. Profit too, I think, is in currency. Now you see something like profit margin. If you remember correctly, our profit margin was in percentage, so it's good that you actually put it in percentage so that, and you can increase or reduce the decimal place. Right, so that is the use of your table. You can actually create new columns here if you want. You can create a new column. Okay, so say for instance, I want to, what do I want to do? You can easily create a new column. Yeah. Well, I don't have any column that I want to create. This is date, right? This is date. We already have, depending on how you want your date to look like, you can see the format here. Let's see. Can just do this. If you don't want to put in the day of the week. This is a number, whole number. This is text. This is, I don't want to make this a number. I actually would want to make it just text. Because I don't want to make it so that it should calculate itself, right? Now if you go to this particular model view, this is, it will give you a model of what your table looks like. If you have multiple tables, it will give you an idea of relationships. And of course, this is our DAX. Write certain DAX function and run it to see what the result is going to look like. So for this particular case, I am going to create a new column. I'll ask it to put from January 1st, I'll create a new table. So let me see, I'll go to table 2. I need it to create a new table, and I just want to create a calendar table. So I'll just say calendar, I think, and I would say is equal to, forgotten this date stuff. I think it's date between, is it date add? Forgotten how to create a calculated column for date. Okay, date, that is from, so the date add, we have the dates, number of intervals and intervals. Now I really don't know, I've forgotten how to add my date, so I'll just go to Google and say date add index. I'll just say index. So just go to my documentation and see how they apply the date add function in DAX. So date add, date, number of intervals. So we can then read from here the parameter, a column that contains date, an integer that specifies the number of intervals to add or subtract from the date, the interval by which to shift the date, the value can be done, like that. Let me see. Okay, so Forgetting how they use this stuff. But let me check somewhere. I think I can create a date. Hmm, let me see. I think I can create a date. I'll create a date from, I said from, so we have month, day, 2020, is it 2013? Yeah, 2013, I think. Let me see what they are saying here. I want to see how they use it. Hmm. I just want to create a table that has dates inside it. This one is English. It add. Okay, so let me confirm. Am I not seeing this stuff here? Hold on, please. Apparently, there is heat. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What? Khadija, you wanted to say something? Khadija, are you there? You wanted to say something?
No, sir.
Okay, I thought you wanted to say something. So, oh, I think I was the one that made that mistake. I'm not supposed to use date add. I think I'm supposed to use calendar. So the calendar has a start date and an end date. So I'm going to enter a date, my date function. So my date function will carry the year, which is 2013, month first, day first. So as I said, I wanted to create a date from 1st of January 2013 to 31st of December 2014. So this is my date column, and I think I should name it, I don't know, I named it calendar. Just a calendar. And I don't want date time. I just want just short date. So I can just say, you know, now that I've created my table, it shows that I have two tables, right? I have two tables for my calendar table and my financial data set. I can then go to my model view, and you can see this calendar, right? And we have our finance table. I can then do a linkage from calendar to my finance using something that they have in common, which is date. So we have date in our calendar column, and we have date in our finance, which is what we are seeing here. So we can do a connection in the models, and it's a one-to-many connection. And you see to tell, is it one-to-many? Which column are you connecting with? So I'm connecting the calendar column in the calendar table with our date column in our financials table. And you just click on OK, and it will create a connection for you. So basically, this is why this is remember in SQL we talked about one-to-one, one-to-many, foreign key, and primary key. Did we remember that? Or we have used it to eat chicken and Khadija, did you remember? Your mic is on. Abraham,
Yeah, I remember.
are you sure? Hey, Khadija quickly off her mic. Khadija, do you still remember your foreign key and your primary key? Khadija, are you there? Can't hear you.
Yes, yes, I remember.
So basically,
Wow.
your foreign key is a primary key in another table, right? So this will be our primary key, and this will be the date here, foreign key. So you use it to create your model will use it to check the relationship between multiple tables. You understand? And it's really important, very, very important, trust me. The knowledge of SQL will really help you here, especially in creating these data types. Now, the one thing I can then do is to say I'm going to hide this data, this date. And that's because I already have my relationship here. I've already connected, so I can hide one and just leave one. Does that make sense? I don't need to show everything again. So let's say we want to view, what do we want to view? We want to view sales by country. If I click this checkbox here, Power BI can suggest for me the kind of visuals I would want to see. Now, if I click on it, my country, it's telling me that interesting. My map and fields aren't enabled for your organization. Contact admin. Interesting. Let me go to my settings, which is odd and very, very. This is not supposed to be, but it is. Where should I even go to? I think is see regional settings. But it's somewhere weird. The security. You go to use map and field map, and you can open this. And so you just click on ArcGIS for this, just the map and field maps, which is which is why it's telling, which was why it was telling me it wasn't enabled. So I'll just enable it. Click on OK. But I'm surprised it's supposed to be enabled because I'm already using it. So in order for me to be able to use this next time, all I just need to do is I'll just save. Let me save this Power BI somewhere here. Bradford this, and I'll create a Power BI. This, and I'll now create a name called financial. And I'll just, because I've enabled a feature in Power BI using the options and setting, I would close this report and I'll open it again. I'll close the Power BI desktop and open it again. It's just going to take me some time to do that. Just let's give it a minute or two. So you can see our Power BI is up. I'll click on my financials, and I think the visuals should be up by now. Now, like I said, do not panic that your interface doesn't look like mine. Somebody enabled a lot of things for me. Now that I am done with this, I can delete this visual and go to my financials and click on the country again. I don't know. It's supposed to. Did I save it? I hope I did. Wait, okay. Yeah, I did. No, I did. It's not working. It's actually not supposed to show me that. That is interesting. Oh, interesting. But this is supposed to actually show me see details using the admin portal. Hmm. This is interesting. It's supposed to actually work, but I don't know why it is not working. You know, I've never even bothered about this up till now. Up until now, rather. Hmm. Interesting. As I enabled it, it's supposed to tell me something about I won't be able to do something, restart and stuff like that. Let me log out and see. Going to save. Let me bring it up again. Hold on. This is actually supposed to show, but I don't know. It's weird that it's showing me that. But this is one of those diagnostics that you would need to do. You that just finished installing Power BI. Power BI is a little bit heavy, so you need to be careful not running multiple things on it. Okay, so I would click on the map again. Oh, so I think is it works now, but so I think it has something to do with my account. So you can see we have it's mapping it to USA, Mexico, France. We have Germany here. Where again? I think that's where we have our this thing. And we can now add certain functionalities to it. For instance, we can add sales, and you then see the sales here where we had. Oh, okay. I have a lot of for sales. I have a lot of decimal, and for me to be able to adjust this, I can just click on my format and go to the bubble. Colors, let me see if they are show all. So I can change the colors depending on the country. Why is it showing me these weird colors? I can choose, I don't know, it's just showing me all weirdly funny colors. What is the last one? So Mexico, let me choose black. So you can, you know, you can decide to choose the colors. You can do it by magnitude, the one that has more money. Um, by data range. So the size of the bubble will tell you the one that has more weight. So if you look at it now, Canada has more weight. So if you look at it, Canada has about 22 22 million, followed by, it looks like USA 21 million, followed by France, which is 20 million, 19 million, and Mexico should be very small, somewhere at 19 million. That's interesting. This is weirdly interesting. And you can create a heat map too as well. Let's see. Let me increase the radius and see. Yeah, so you can create a heat map meter. Let's see. So you can create a heat map if it's a heat map you want to use. Let me see the map setting road. You can play with your this thing. This is a dark. Let's see grayscale. This is gray. You can play with it. Area. Let's see area. Oh, interesting. So I think we are using the road. Let's see. You can also import a map. I imagine that this is an interesting table, right? So you can actually, okay, so this is interesting. So basically, by the time you click on any of these columns, it can give you a suggestion of what it wants to see. Now let's say I want to create a table of sales, manufacturing. So you basically, you can see that it's creating a lot of suggestion. Manufacturing cost, let's see, profits, for instance, and I want to create them by country. Oh, it suggested for me a scattered map. It suggested for me a scattered map. I don't want that. What I want is a table. I can create a table by clicking on the table, and you can see my my table here. Now what I can do is, let's say I want to just say total sales, manufacturing price, and whatnot. So I can just carry this up here to this place. Manufacturing price should come before sales and profit. So the only thing I can do is just to click on this column, this particular column here. I'll just double click on each of them and just say instead of sum of manufacturing price, just manufacturing price. Sales price, I'll just then profit. So it suffices for me to just do this, right? The other thing I can do is to go to so I want to format this guy. This, it's just too much, man. What I can do is go to, I think I can go to specific column. What I want is manufacturing price. I want to go to display. I would say display none, but I want to reduce the so if I increase, you can see the decimal value. I can then go to the sales and do the same thing and just reduce the decimals, because I don't want too much decimals. Same thing with profit. So it's the decimals are just too much. So these, I can come to alignment and put them in the middle. I can put the alignment together with the header and my total as well. in the middle. So I would run the same process with for the country manufacturing price, and let's say I want to put them in the middle, and I will do the same thing for my. So you can see it's looking a little bit nicer now, and so this can give you an overall view. Now from this you can then notice the difference between using Power Query, Pivot Table to create table as and Power BI. And I'll be like, why is this a visual? Of course, table is also a visual. You can change the values in terms of how you want them to look like, in terms of the font. I think I currently like these. These are my values. Increase the size if you so want. Then increase my, make it, let's say I want the color. Why is it showing me this color? It's weird, man. Like, I mean, show me some other color. These are alternative color. So let's say I want this to be somewhere, weirdly, the background to, if I want, I can change it to white, and this other background I can change it to crazy black. I can change the alternative color to the text to be white as well. So, just to make it look nicer. For the values inside each of the cells. For the column header, I can also increase the font, change this to this, make it bold and make it crazy, big. I can change the color to some funny color, and change the background to some funny background if I want. And yeah, then just put it somewhere here. And so the goal again is to make your visualization as pleasing as possible to the human eyes. So let's say we want to check in terms of, if you want to do a column chart or a bar chart, you can do that. Let's say we want to check in terms of the how much we've made sales profit, and sales profit basically over time. You want to do a trend analysis, so you can click on. Now if you want to do, oh mind you, if you want to create a new visual, just go away from the current selected visual. You can just click anywhere, go to, let's say, sales, want to do profit, but what do you want to do over time? I'm just going to click on the calendar. Automatically it has suggested for me like a chart to use. Now you can see everything is just straight line. That's because we have 2023 here, 2024 here. Now if we want to make this look trendy, you can do this expand all down one level in the hierarchy, or you can actually go to the next, or you can drill down if you want. But we just do this, and you can see it will just show us quarterly, and if you want it to show us month on month. And you can actually change how your this is looking too edgy. You can change it if you want. So this is the format to format your graph. I really don't like grid lines, so I'm going to go I think, yeah, so these grid lines, I'll remove both the horizontal and vertical grid lines. I really don't like grid lines on my chart. See the line here, you can actually change, see the style from solid to dash if you want, or you dotted, custom, solid, join round, you can say beveled, and you can linear interpolation or smooth. You can create, you can see it's now smooth, and or you can create steps, you know. See how, so before, after, you very interesting stuff. Smooth, you can cardinal to make it look more, you know. Look at the tension. If you look at, you can see tension towards 100%, it will go back to what the graph was before. If you keep reducing the tension, it will keep making it a little bit smoother. You can change it to 0 so that it will be very, very smooth, or you can then monotone. I don't really know what it does. Or you can also increase the width of your, you know, of your line chart. Has anybody seen this kind of smooth line chart before using Power BI? Any visualization?
Yeah, I have.
So you'll be wondering how they achieved that, right? So basically, now Power BI is just for you to explore, please. Now you can decide to change your, so you can see this series drop down. I put profit and sales, right? Let's say for my profit, I want it to be just solid line. I don't want it to be bevel. I just want it to be like this. You can see it's gonna change. Let's reduce the, I don't know why it is not changing. Oh yeah, it's supposed to change. Around, increase this guy. So you can change individual properties if you so want. And I can change this from sum of sales to sales. I just want it to be sales. I want it to be sum of sales because just too lazy. Now I really don't like so this legend title, I can just say legend, right? So if you go to the legend, I really don't need a title per se. Actually, I can just remove it. Depending on where you want to keep your legend, you can actually, you know, like that. For the title of the graph, there's, if you go to properties, you go to, I think is no, hold on. Oh, it has a title here. So instead of sales, I can just say I can say sales and profit trends, for instance. You can change the heading if you want. You know, you don't like the way it is looking. You want it to be somewhat red. You want it to be in the middle. You want it to have some background if you want. You know, you can actually do that. You want to underline it. You can actually do that. You know, and you can make it big, make it nice. Now you need to be wary of the kind of um, colors you use, right? Don't do color riot like we usually talk in secondary school. Now you can add markers if you want. Let me see. Markers are those dots, right? So you can add markers, the kind of markers you want, the marker quality if you want. I can change this to some fine color here. Now for this the series, but for sales, I can just say I want it to be red, while the other one is for profit. I just want it to be, let me see which red color I'm going to use. Oh, that you can see why you need to actually be color careful, because white background for women, they know colors very well. They have very good eyes for colors. So unlike us, that we were just there. I know Khadija will be very happy now. So it's just a Visualization has gone beyond just PowerPoint. Mind you, I would also want to bring our attention to the fact that Power BI and Tableau are meant for interactive dashboard, not static dashboard. Something that is interactive. If I click on this now, it will give me something. Do you understand? It will give me something that I can interact with. I will show you a dashboard, but I would stop recording because it's a dashboard I'm working on and it's for a client. And this is going to be posted online. I wouldn't want it to be part of it. But I'll show you a dashboard I've actually built, and yeah. So I'm going to stop here. If you have any questions, please ask. I know you might have a lot of questions, but if you have any questions, ask.
So I have question. Number one question is this: when you are done with all this visualization, um, is there a way you can export this, or you just save it?
You can
You can
export.
export.
So you got your
So you got your
export.
export.
You
Okay.
can
You can
export as a
export as
PDF,
PDF,
or you can
or
actually
you can
publish
actually
it.
publish it. But
But to publish
to
it, you
publish it,
need
you need
um,
um
a
a
company email that you can publish online and share to people. Like I said, I'm going to show you something that I or you can just export it as PDF and send it to somebody. But again, it will not be fun with it. The fun part is when you create an interactive dashboard that people can actually interact with. So basically, you need to look for a way to publish it. Does that make sense? Mr. Abraham.
I get you. I got your explanation. So
Okay.
I'm saying, okay, if there are so many other things that you like to visualize, does it mean that you will create it on the next page? Because I can see page one. So can you create more pages and load them?
Let me
Because
show.
I
Let me show you something. This is a little bit farther, but I will still show you anyways. Let me see. Down. Let me put title icon. Let me just quickly show you something. Show table. Right. I am going to do this and say show chart. Show trend. Right. And I'm going to put this thing here. Now I want to increase the size of this stuff. Let me increase the size of this. Right, this thing covers everywhere, right? You go to selection,
go to selection,
go to table.
go to table.
I want to do the same thing to my table. Let me go to so I'll put my table in front. I'm going to increase. Please just mute your distance so that we can hear ourselves talk. So I just want to make everything very unpleasantly uncomfortable for us. I want it to cover everywhere. So we have this table, right? In fact, I'm going to create another table again. I just copied and paste. I'm going to make this like this. I will, for all intended purposes, reduce the values so that I don't want them to look weird. So again like this. Now for this, I would say for this other table, right, table 2, I would say I'm gonna add sales price. I'm just going to remove this and just say sales price. And let me do by, instead of country, I'll just do it by segment. Where is segment? I'll bring it here and remove this, right? So I will click on my second table. I would reduce the values. I'll also reduce the value of the header in terms of the font, right? So now we have about three different tables, right? But what I want to do is to show each of three different visuals. I want to do is to show these things at every point in time. Now there's this trick I want to do. Just create it. Show tables and show charts. Show trend, something like that. Now what I want to do is just to do some settings. I'm going to teach us this later, just don't worry about it. Now what I want to do is for my show tables, I want everything like this, but show table. Now you might not see the difference, but let me show you something. I'm just going to update. Now for show trend, I want this like this. Now I'm just going to show trends. Now let's say I want to click on I want this to be a clickable button. Now, so if I go to show table, you can see my table. It will hide the trend like that. So I've created like a bookmark, what they call a bookmark. Now I want on my button, this is show trend. I'll just double click on it and say trend. Selection, I'll just say table, just so I don't get confused. So for my table, I'll click on it. I'll just click on the format, go to the action. What do I want it to do? I want it to go to bookmark. What I want you to do on the bookmark, this is table, is to go show table. I'll assign show table bookmark to this table, to this button. I'll go to my trend, enable action, go to bookmark, go to show trend, right? Now, you might not have noticed what it did, but I've made it interactive in such a way that now all I just need to do is to click on my show trend, and you can see to show trend. Click on show table, it will go to show table. Now let's say I want to go furthermore. I want to say I only want to see one table, one button at a time. Now if I click on show trend, show table should only show. If I click on show table, show trend should only show. Now I can just do something like this. Now if I click on show trend, I only want to see show table, right? So now that I'm showing table, I only want to see show trend. I can then click like this and highlight everything back. I would say now is my table. I only want to see show trend. I'll just update my table, and for my show trend, I only want to see show table. Show table, right? Yeah, so this is it. I'm just going to highlight everything here and just update. Now what happens is if I click on, let me go back. I've now made it more interactive and more interesting. So I only want to show one button at a time. I'll just click on show table. It will show me table. And you see the show table button has disappeared. There's now the show trend. I'll click on show trend. It will show me table. Do you Abraham?
I understand.
So it goes beyond, and you can make these more attractive, right? So let's say I want to show my button to be a little bit more attractive. I can just go to the style. The style, I want it to be rounded. I want to reduce it. Go to my field. I will change my field to something nice and cozy, right? I'll change my text color to be maybe white. I can change it to be something nicer. Now, let me even go. So this is state default. Now, what happens if I want it to be more interactive? I can come to hover, come to text, increase this in such a way, and then maybe most likely change the color to black in such a way that if I hover around it, can you see? It's more. Did you see that? It's looking more interactive now.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
It's looking more. You can see it is more. It's looking more. Make sense?
Yeah.
So these are how they make interactive dashboards. So I'm going to stop sharing screen. Do you have any questions? Any other questions? I'll stop recording so I can show you a dashboard I'm actually building. Any questions?